What's up, guys? The Holy Tony Baker here, and I just want to talk about a fight pad that I've been using for a while called the Razer Raion. Now, if you're not familiar with Razer, they generally make fight sticks, other peripherals. They recently came out with a fight pad of their own not too long ago called the Razer Raion. And if you've seen any of the reviews on YouTube, you'll see one common theme is that D-pad is terrible. And a big reason for that D-pad being terrible is that there's a lack of a central pivot, which is important for D-pads in general for them to function properly. Now, what a central pivot does is prevents every single direction from being hit as you're doing specific inputs. Without a central pivot, however, it becomes very, very, very easy to hit accidental directions. And it just makes using a fight pad or any sort of controller with the D-pad on it very, very difficult to do. So I bought a Razer Raion probably about a year ago. I was having issues with D-pad like everybody else was. But I got used to it, so I didn't really care too much. I just dealt with it, and whatever happened, happened. But eventually, a pivot mod came out for the Razer Raion, and I bought one, and I tried to put it in, but I completely botched the pad. Stripped screws where the D-pad goes, and it kind of forced me to fidget around with it, try and get it in there, and I didn't get it in properly, so that forced me into buying a new pad. So I just went ahead and bought a replacement Razer Raion. Thought nothing of it. Been playing around with it for a while. But one day I was just sitting there and I was just messing around with it, just pressing all the directions, and eventually I just decided to try and press down the center for no apparent reason, just to do it because I know the Razer Raion was capable of doing that because it lacked a pivot. However, when I pressed down in the center, it didn't budge. The pad didn't budge. It actually went in a different direction than just straight down into the pad itself. And that threw me for a loop, and I was like, whoa, this is weird. I've never had this happen with this pad before. So I decided to do a little test with it. I don't know if you can really see it too well. I'm gonna press up first and then press down. Pressing up right now, and I'm applying force to down. And it was very, very tough to get it from up to down. I had to put in a lot of force, and basically I had to put more force in one direction than the other. So what that means is on the screen right here, as you can see, I'm doing the exact same thing, and it's causing me to move in sideways directions as well, which if I were to press all the way down, nothing would happen. It would literally just put the entire controller in neutral. So what this means is actually Razer took some feedback on the pad itself. They realized there was a problem, and they went on and fixed it. And how they fixed it was by putting a pivot in, which is a big, big deal because that completely changes the entire feeling of the D-pad. It went from being very, very inconsistent to probably the best D-pad I've ever used in my life. For demonstration, command grab characters with the Razer Raion was a notorious problem because of their half circle and full circle inputs. Normally, if you were to press it too close to the center, you might skip inputs and stuff like that. But I'm going to be pressing on the D-pad right down in the center. I don't know if you can see where my thumb is, but basically my thumb is going to be going straight down in the center, and as I do the 360 input, and here's what happens. Perfect 360. On the original Razer Raion, this would just result in like thingy jumping and doing like a jump normal or something like that. But as you can see, I got a 360 easily, very, very easy. Now, if you look in the corner, you can see that some of the inputs got skipped, like the diagonals got skipped on the last bit, you know, from sloppy execution. But that can still happen with the Razer Raion, but it's much less likely because of the pivot. So now you don't have to play with this pad all around the edge of the D-pad. You can actually play closer to the center of it, which is how a lot of players actually use the D-pad itself anyway. A lot of them like to use the ball of their thumb, which I'm doing right there, just to do that 360 right there. They like to use the ball of their thumb in order to get their inputs out. And that works very, very well on this pad. It did not work nearly as well. It actually was a terrible idea with the pad previously in a previous release. But with this new version of it, you can play with the pad exactly how you've been used to playing on a fight pad, or just a game pad in general. The only unfortunate thing about this new revision is that there's no guaranteed way of knowing that you will get the revised version of the pad. Unfortunately, Razer did not change any of the SKU numbers or anything like that. It's the exact same pad. It's probably just a different batch number is all it is. But this different batch is a new revision on the pad. It's properly fixed. So if you were to just look on Amazon, you'll be able to find a pad. I'm not sure how much it's going for now. I got mine. It was probably about like 80 bucks, about $79.99, somewhere along those lines. You can probably find it around that price, maybe a little bit cheaper. But if you're out there looking for a pad to replace, like, say, your DualShock 4, it's gone out for the last time, and you're done dealing with those pads, give the Razer Raion a try, and maybe you'll come across one of these revised versions of the pad that have the central pivot in it. This is a big deal for fight pad users, and I highly recommend just probably biting the bullet and trying to get one of these revised pads. But that's all I got for you guys today. Like and subscribe, as all the other YouTubers say, yada yada yada. That's all I got for you guys. Until next time, peace out.